Well, the average employer in the US spends about $10,000 per employee per year. So if you have 100 employees, you might spend $1 million a year. With MediBid, the average employer spends about $3,500 to $6,000 per employee per year. So $350,000 to $600,000 versus $1 million. Those are the potential savings. Market-based pricing is defined as the lowest amount a vendor is willing to accept for goods or services and the highest a buyer is willing to pay. Is healthcare in the US market-based? No, not really. It's based on pre-negotiated pricing and sometimes pre-negotiated discounts. Why doesn't that work? Well, because that's static and it's fixed. In recent years, other healthcare payment models have emerged. Some of them include bundled pricing. All it does is it puts together the bill of the surgeon, the hospital, and the anesthesiologist, but it's still based on pre-negotiated pricing, so it's still a fixed price. We have to go further. Many years ago, when we booked travel or a hotel or cars, they would have a rack rate. And then we'd have discounts based on, are you under 12 or over 65, or you're booking 3 weeks in advance? Those determined the discounts. Often back then, planes flew half empty. Today, with Travelocity and Expedia, airplane tickets and hotel rooms are based on vacancy rate. If you are looking at a flight tomorrow and it's half empty, you'll probably get that for about $86. That's market-driven pricing. And that's how you really drive an economy. That's how you make an efficient healthcare economy. But healthcare doesn't work that way. What we do at MediBid is we allow the doctors to bid in real time on every procedure. Instead of having a pre-negotiated price, every time they're making a bid, it's based on how many hospital beds are empty, how much time they have free. That's truly market-based healthcare economics. At MediBid, the patient is called the seeker, and the doctor or hospital is called the bidder. So you actually have doctors bidding to get your business. Now, when they submit a bid, you see their quality, their outcomes, their training, education, and experience, their location, and their price. So you have a lot of information that you don't have in traditional healthcare. One of the best features of MediBid is you get a built-in second opinion. Often somebody will submit a request for a knee replacement, and they might upload their x-rays from their mobile app. Once they upload those pictures, doctors go online and they actually see your images, they see your x-rays, and they'll look at it and they'll say, you know, I don't think you need a full knee replacement. You might just need a knee arthroscopy. And the average price for a knee replacement on MediBid is about $15,000, whereas an arthroscopy is only $4,600. So you can save $10,000 just by having that built-in second opinion. That allows you to make an informed decision, an efficient decision, and it allows you to get the best value for the dollar. The US spends more per capita than any other country in the world on healthcare. Usually when people buy things in the US, they assume that the more you pay, the better the quality. And that's the case in most aspects of the economy, but in healthcare, it's almost the exact opposite. Well, it's interesting because the way our healthcare system is set up, there's an inverse correlation between cost and quality in the US. As a matter of fact, very often the more you pay, the lower the quality. Let me illustrate. Let's say you have two doctors, an experienced surgeon that does 500 procedures a year and an inexperienced surgeon that does, let's say, 5. Take the experienced one. He might take 25 minutes to do a knee replacement. If he comes across a complication, he's seen it 100 times, he's got no problem. You're still in and out in 30 minutes. Now, both the hospital and the anesthesiologist bill by 15-minute units, so you only have half an hour of time. The inexperienced surgeon might take 2 hours to do the same knee replacement, and if he comes across a complication, he's got to call in another doctor, has to come in and scrub in. You're under anesthesia for 2, maybe 2.5 or 3 hours, and you've got more OR time, more anesthesia time, and because you've been under anesthesia for over 2 hours, maybe even 3, you might even need 1 or 2 nights overnight in the hospital. So those bills all add up. So that's why you have an inverse correlation. Why don't people notice it? In the US, most of us think about our deductible or copay only. And if you have somebody that has, let's say, a $5,000 deductible, and they have a choice between 2 surgeons, the charges for the experienced one might only be $30,000 because of the relatively small amount of time in the operating room, while the inexperienced one is going to have charges of maybe $90,000. And if people see only those 2 surgeons and the prices, and they know they're out $5,000 with either one, chances are they're going to choose the one that has higher charges. So that's why our system almost encourages higher spending.